Hi friends, today I'm going to be portraying a client named Jessica that is completing her interoceptive exposure homework at home. So to start off, I'm going to read the first two questions on page 162 of the Facing Symptoms worksheet. So the symptom exercise that I'm going to be doing today is breathing through a straw. The negative thoughts that come to mind when I think about doing this exercise, I feel really nervous that I'm not going to be able to breathe, that I'm going to feel short of breath, which could lead to me being really lightheaded. My worst fear when I have panic attacks is that I'm going to faint, and so I'm really anxious going into this because I don't want to faint, and I know that if I feel short of breath, that could happen, so I'm just feeling really anxious. My therapist told me that this would be really beneficial so that eventually I would habituate to those sensations that I feel that really scare me the most. So the more I can force myself to experience those, the less intense and scared I'll feel when I do experience those during a panic attack. So here goes nothing. I'm feeling really anxious, but I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm just going to breathe through this straw. Okay, I don't think I can do that anymore. I'm feeling really out of breath, a little lightheaded. Okay, it's okay. I'm okay. So, did what I'm most worried about occur? No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't faint. I didn't pass out. So, that's good. My anxiety level, that was probably a 9. Was it similar to what I usually experience during a panic attack? Probably like a 7. Now, I know in session my therapist told me that to get the most benefit out of these exercises, I really need to push myself when I do these. So the first exercise trial, that was pretty intense. So I'm going to try to go a little bit longer with this second exercise. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to push myself, but I'm still feeling pretty anxious. So okay. I'm definitely feeling some of those sensations that we talked about earlier. My heart is pounding. I still feel a little bit lightheaded. My vision got like a little like tunnel vision for a minute, but that passed. So did what I worry about most occur? No, I didn't pass out. I didn't faint. My max anxiety during that was probably still like an 8 or 9, maybe like an 8 this time because I knew more what to expect. And how similar that was to a typical panic attack, that was probably 7. So, okay, third attempt. Okay. I definitely felt a little bit more shortness of breath with that one. I think that plugging my nose really made it more intense. Was what I'm most worried about, did it occur? No, it did not. I didn't pass out and I didn't faint, which is good. Max anxiety level during that one, because I had my nose plugged, that was more intense, I thought. So I'm still going to give that a 7. Is it similar to what I experienced during a panic attack? I would give that a 6. Okay, so this is attempt number 4. Whew, I'm like still kind of out of breath. Okay. I felt a little bit more calm during that one just because I knew what going into it was going to feel like. So that was the 4th attempt. Did what I was most worried about occur? No, it did not. My max anxiety during that was probably a 5. Is it similar to what I experienced during a typical panic attack? I felt like maybe it wasn't quite as intense as what I usually experience. I didn't quite get like the heart palpitations like I usually do, but I did feel like that tightness in my chest and just the urge to take a deep breath, but you really can't. Not so much lightheadedness, but I do still feel like it was pretty accurate. I would probably give that like a 5.5 out of 10 on the how similar it is to a typical panic attack for me. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to do attempt 5. Okay, attempt number 5. Okay, that was attempt number 5. Did what I'm most worried about occur? No, it didn't, but I did have the thought while I was doing this, what if I did like pass out? What would happen? You know, who would find me? Like the only person in my room is a cat. What what would happen? I would just like pass out here in my room. So that automatic thought was a little bit frightening to me. And I know that my therapist said that whenever those automatic thoughts come up, like I'm gonna pass out, I need to do cognitive restructuring to challenge that thought. So I think the first step with that is to come up with like it is an automatic thought. I'm gonna pass out and just like die here on the floor. Thinking errors. I know if I remember right, a thinking error could be catastrophizing because I'm assuming the worst. Probably fortune telling because I'm predicting what's going to happen. Yeah, so catastrophizing and fortune telling. So those are the thinking errors. So disputing questions, I'm going to pass out. What evidence do I have? Like how likely is that? Or what would I tell a friend that was having that thought? So I would ask my friend, Have you ever passed out before when you felt these sensations? No. No. I feel the way this straw makes me feel pretty often when I have panic attacks. I feel like this, and no matter how much my brain tells me that the worst is going to happen, I'm going to pass out, I'm going to faint, nobody's going to find me on the floor, I haven't. I haven't ever passed out. I haven't fainted, knock on wood, but I just got to remember that. So, a rational response here. So, feeling shortness of breath does not mean I'm going to pass out. Feeling shortness of breath can just mean a lot of different things, but it doesn't have to mean the worst, that I'm going to pass out and die here on the floor. So that cognitive restructuring, I think, is really helpful. It's really helped me identify those automatic thoughts and, really challenge that. Like, what evidence do I have? Are they valid? We need to step back and look at it from an objective state. My therapist has really done a great job helping me kind of make those connections in my brain, because I know that the more I get comfortable and familiar with these different physiological sensations, the more, I think we talked about, what was it called? Like when you watch a scary movie, a lot of times it isn't as scary over time. I think my therapist said that that's called habituation. So the more I do this, the more I experience and put myself in those uncomfortable situations that make me anxious. Over time, they're not going to make me feel as anxious. Habituation. I'm learning a lot during therapy. I love therapy. I love my therapist. She's great. So, final attempt. This is the 6th attempt with this. I'm going to breathe through it as long as I can. I'm going to go for probably a minute and a half, and then I'm going to do my ratings and move on from there. So, okay, one last time. I can do it. Okay. Did what I was most worried about occur? No, it did not. Right now I'm feeling shortness of breath. My vision is doing these little weird, I'm seeing little stars in my vision just because I got a little lightheaded. But I'm okay. That was probably the most intense one. That was probably the most similar to what I experienced during a panic attack. But I would rate that, my max anxiety for this last one, probably like a 3 or 4, like a 3.5. It was intense, but I knew that whatever sensations I felt weren't going to cause me to pass out. So that was good. I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do that, because I was really anxious before I started. So by completing this interoceptive exposure homework at home that my therapist assigned me, I feel like I learned a lot about how I perceive these sensations as more threatening than what they actually are. Because when I took the time to do, these different tasks and, purposely, intentionally make myself experience those sensations that I feel during a panic attack that scare me so much. I've really learned that, my brain tends to take the most scary route. It's like I have on those amber colored glasses that we talked about in an earlier session. Like everything seems scarier than what it actually is. But when I took those glasses off and I looked at these objectively, and I did that little bit of cognitive restructuring in the middle, what evidence do I have that I'm going to pass out? I don't have any evidence because I've never passed out from a panic attack before, and I was purposely putting myself in these situations to bring up those same sensations that I feel and I'm so scared of. And I'm just so proud that I was able to do that, because I learned a lot. I learned that I'm stronger than I thought that I was because I did this. And I'm just really excited to see what future sessions have, because I feel like now the next time I have a panic attack and I do feel these sensations, I'm going to remember I purposely made myself feel these same sensations 6 different times when nobody else was home except for my cat, and I did not pass out. I didn't faint. So, worst negative thought didn't come true. And my maximum anxiety, as I did these different trials, actually went down. I think I started at like a 9, and then by the time I finished with like the most intense session where I did this for like a minute and a half, breathing really heavily, the sensations were still there, but I was not nearly as anxious about them. I think I rated that a 3.3. So I just want to give a quick shout out to my therapist, Katie, because she did a really great job preparing me for this, and I feel a lot more calm. So the next time I have a panic attack, I know that I'll be able to get through it, and I'm not going to pass out. So I really enjoyed this homework. So thank you.